Tu senti, amore, da quello? Perfetto. Adesso poi quando arriva la delegazione li faremo, arriverà tutto un mucchio di gente, molto probabilmente dopo gli... Di solito c'è sempre una del festival con loro che ti dirà, ah sì, va la delegazione. E gli togli poi i nastri, li prendi e li porti qua dietro, amore.
Prova?
Prova in italiano, va bene? Proviamo a parlare. Mi senti, Ali? Funziona?
Un momento,
Sì, sì.
Raga, siamo in streaming anche là. Ali, puoi dare solo l'ambiente e chiudi i microfoni adesso. Ok. No, il sito in sé funziona. Grazie molto, raga.
Comincio ad accendere allora il microfono.
Non penso che arrivi.
Non lo so perché non c'è scritto, se il moderatore non ho capito se è di là o di qua.
Ambiente su.
No, se è con il film, se lo fa qua. Moderatore, moderatore, sì, intro zona. Mi hanno detto lasciamo fare la sicurezza di tutto le...
Se dovessi servire
Sì, adesso poi dopo l'abbiamo il video che mi ha detto uno va.
quando arriva il moderatore chiediamo lui che fa la presentazione. C'è un moderatore anche qua. Dovrebbe essere
Se lui ci ha già detto come mettere anche in ora. Per
questo sta qui perché no, c'è lo stato.
vuoi che te lo tolgo un po'? Qua?
Sì, vabbè, devi trovare dei siti in realtà. Questi si prendono pedate.
Ale l'ha messi lì, ha detto che non dovrebbe succedere niente.
Però non so, stavo seguendo. Devo capire come mai non si prende poi.
because he makes the presentation.
Exactly.
So
And usually here it's only us.
okay, very good. Festival. Ciao a tutti. Prova. 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 Stai pure su, Sorry. No. Sorry.
Sorry for my information. I thought I have to go to the taxi, but it comes now. It's here, so easy.
Sì. Brutto.
Welcome. Welcome to the 76th edition of the Locarno Film Festival and to the Q&A of the first film of the international competition, the film Animal by Sofia Exarchou. So please give a warm welcome to the team of the film. So, together with Sofia, the writer and director of the film, we also have the main actress, Dimitra Vlagopoulou, in the role of Kalia. Please welcome her.
Ali, puoi dire che non ci sono traduzioni,
We also have with us Flo Maria Papadaki,
che non ci sono cuffie.
Elpida Orfanidou, Voodoo Jurgens, Chronic Barbarian, and the producers of the film, Maria Drandaki and Maria Contomiani. So before starting, I remind you that we have a microphone. So please, whenever you have any questions or something you would like to ask or share with the team of the film, feel free to raise your hand and we will bring you a microphone. And well, to break the ice, I would start with maybe the main and obvious question, and it's to Sofia. And what is it that drawn you to this world of mass tourism, of entertainment, of people working in this world?
So my starting point was after I finished my previous film, and I had the idea that I wanted to do a movie about work and working system in Western Europe and in capitalistic societies. And then pretty soon after that, I thought about tourism and tourist industry as the working system through which I would explore this subject. I feel very related to it because I'm Greek, so I know, our country is the economic milestone of our country, tourism, and since I was a kid, I know how it goes and how much it grew over the decades. And then after I had the idea of the animators as the employees of this hotel, so I didn't choose like any kind of employees in this hotel, but the animators because I wanted to talk also about entertainment and how is also entertainment in modern day and what it means also for capitalism and that we have to entertain people. And that's the beginning of the story.
Thank you. Then, for me, there is something that you now mentioned a bit, and that I was thinking while watching the film, because you create this world of fantasy in a way. I mean, it's really something that's very present in the film, but somehow it's off space. No, that we see this world that it's completely, something that we get out of reality and go somewhere else. But then this is the world that you have all created and you're all creating, but we in the film, like the way you portray it, it's somehow, we feel it, but we don't really see it. Was it something that you really thought of?
Well, I always start from reality as a base, and I researched a lot in hotels. I saw a lot of animator shows. I searched a lot on YouTube to watch videos from different countries with animators on cruise boats, animators everywhere they can exist. To have, collect a lot of info about this universe, but then I always like to take it a step further and create my own universe through which I can narrate my subject. So many of the shows were my idea how through this whole exploration I would go closer to the stories of the characters and develop further my subject. So in the end it's a quite fictional universe that we created, and of course I didn't create it alone. I created with all these actors and all the crew members who put their ideas, costumes, makeup, production design to make our own universe and narrate this story.
So maybe a bit the same question to the actors, and I would like to know how do you relate to this world that you created? Maybe Dimitra could start.
Hi. We follow the steps Sophia opened for us. We watched together all this material with our eyes. We discussed a lot, and we had a long period of rehearsing. So we improvise a lot of shows. We get in their costumes, practical and metaphorical. We were animateur for 6 months before start shooting with a fantastic audience in our minds. So our characters have past, and for my character to have experience that I don't, but now I think I have. And we work a lot with our bodies.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm going to say exactly what Dimitra said, but except that this is the reality of living Greece in a way. At summers, I have worked at not at the hotels, but at some other touristic things, and as we've discussed before, it's something that it's a part of our everyday life to work hard, to work underpaid, to work in a country that exists almost for tourists and economy. So, I don't know, speaking of myself, I brought all my thoughts, all my memories, all my anxiety, all my fears and my feelings and my hopes, and my mother's life and my friend's life, and I don't know, yes, I think that's all.
Thank you. Someone else, maybe from the cast, would like to add something? If not, we have a question over there first, and then here.
Thank you for an exceptional film. Congratulations. I have a question. You hardly show the clients, the visitors. Was that on purpose? Because the perspective of the clients would be another film, of course, but it would be interesting to see how you see those clients, the visitors, the people who are paying to see the animation. Something happens to them as well, but you don't actually focus on that. I appreciate it, but I would like to know why.
Yes, that was intentional, and it was also intentional that in the very end of the film there would be this one and only encounter with the tourist, which is the character of Voodoo in the film. And the idea was that, and what motivated me a lot to do this film was that to make a film about a hotel resort and about tourists, and open up the curtain and see what is behind the stage, or what is underneath all this glossy surface. And I know for all of us, the idea of holidays is something funny that we relate with nice moments, that we enjoy, that we go for holidays to have fun. But I just wanted with this story to put the focus on the people who work and see what lies under the surface. So I wanted to make it really close, this environment, focus only on them. And I didn't even want to, to personalize even, the other people in the hotel or the managers or the directors of the hotel, because that for me was not also interesting. It was the system itself that I wanted to make, as the antagonist of my characters. So that was the main idea, that I will focus on this group with all these animators and all these different point of view from all these people. And their antagonist is the system, and their struggle is because of that.
Thank you. We have a question here.
Well, thank you for the film. I'm Gisela from Argentina. I really feel very touched by this film. And I want to ask for the physical work, how does it felt? And how do you thought the work between the dialogue between the body and the camera, and if this exists something called, I don't know, physical cinema or something like that, because it was really, really hard and good and lovely to see. And thank you again for this film.
You should. It's strange that I answer first. But for me, I relate a lot to this question. I'm coming more from the dance world, and Sophia invited a lot of people from the dance world, and she wanted exactly this exchange of qualities between theater, cinema world, and dance world. And for me, that's super interesting, because I find it very strong when the camera collaborates with the humans in a very physical way. And that was also a thing that I was reminding myself how to connect to the people, that is like such a rich landscape of qualities, and how to connect to this thing that we call the camera eye. And this physical connection that for me brings up a very precious thing in cinema, which is called presence. And in theater we do work a lot with presence, but it's very magical when the presence of the moment of the shooting becomes presence in the moment that we watch something on a big screen. So I don't know if I could answer in a very analytical, specific way to your question, but I relate very much, and this is what I can share right now. Yeah. And thank you, Sophia, for this.
I think Elpida was very much to the point. Actually, from all the group of animators, 6 of them were dancers, performers. One comes from the circus also. It was 3 actors and 1 actor singer. So from the very beginning, the idea was that this exchange that Elpida said, dancers helped a lot, the actors also, how we're gonna use and work with our bodies, the choreographer, of course. And it is the physicality, because of their work, for me it was very important. There are people who abuse their body every day. They have to do it for many hours, and they have to find also mechanisms to survive and keep going. So that was an important element. But also I want to narrate feelings, and I know that going closer to the body, it can be also sometimes difficult for the viewer and maybe raw. But at the same time, it can express some tenderness and some things that sometimes dialogue cannot do it.
Thank you. Do we have some more questions? Yes, we have one there.
First of all, I want to congratulate with all the members. I really liked the acting really much. It was really real. And also, I want to congratulate with the director, because I liked the metaphor with the fish and the use of the color red, which was really beautiful. And my question goes to the one scene of Eva's birthday, where the 2 main actors sing, and the 2 songs, they have a meaning in the context of the whole story, because I wanted to know what they were saying. Okay.
I will answer, and if you want, you can elaborate the girl. So you mean about the two songs, the one that Eva is singing, and then in the beginning is the birthday song, and then Eva starts singing a Polish song. And how we work with Eva was at this moment, it's her birthday, she has to celebrate it outside, away from her country and her family. And now this is her family, her new family. And she takes a moment to sing a song that for her brings memories and makes her feel emotional at this point. And then she wants the party to keep going and also to, to make Kaya feel better, so she asks her to join with her song. And Kaya wants to deliver, and she has to, that's what she knows, she has to deliver. They ask her, she has to go for it. So she thinks she can do it, so she chooses a song that she used to sing during some summer shows, as she narrates it in the scene. That they were putting a fair and a Russian flag swimming suit inside. They were just throwing out the fairs and dancing with the swimming suits for the tourists. And this all sarcasm that brings this memory, I think it's what leads her to collapse in the process of this scene.
We try a lot of songs until we choose the one for the birthday, and I really wanted to be one that I like for her birthday, and that was my...
The only one you knew from your life in the hotel.
And for... yes, and I want something that communicate with her song. In my mind, there was a dialogue between them, hidden inside lyrics and melodies, between these two women, the oldest and the youngest, in their celebration day. Yes, and I love that song. Now I don't remember the lyrics, either in the movie.
As far as Eva's song, it's a Polish-Ukrainian folk song, and it talks about a soldier who is going to the war. So yes, I guess it's like a song that reminds her family, and maybe it's a song for her childhood. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Jorge from Chile, and congratulations for your movies. I like it very much. I wanted to know about your influences on Greek cinema, maybe, because I understand that you've worked with Babis Makridis in some other movies, and correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm friends with Babis. I don't think we ever worked together, but we're close friends. I mean, the community in Greece is really, really small, so everybody knows each other.
And and I saw a movie called Santan by, I don't remember the name of the director, that remind me a little bit of this movie too, from another perspective. So I wanted to know how Greek cinema tendencies maybe influenced your film. Thanks.
I think Greek reality mostly influences me in the stories I want to tell. I enjoy. There are difficulties in working in cinema and trying to make movies in Greece. Huge difficulties regarding financing, but I think we enjoy working because there is a community that is strong and very good collaborators, and we keep going.
For me, there's this film, αυτή η νύχτα μένει, it's by Panagiotopulos, and it's a story of two girls, actually one girl and the new one, where they sing to big night clubs, around all over the Greece, and they're young, they work hard, and yeah, I find it very similar with our film. It's called Αυτή νυχταμένη.
We have a question in the front.
Hello. Also from my side, thank you very much for the film. You said in the beginning that your intention was to speak about the working situation and about capitalism, and what really struck me was how strongly you saw in the film that capitalism can really not be looked at apart from patriarchy. I mean, on all layers, but in the film it shows, from my point of view, especially through the extremely violent humiliation of women. And I would like, if you want to tell, I would love to hear how you approach this topic in the preparation of the film and with the team.
Try. I think we approach different relationships between two women, or Kaya with Simos. We didn't do an open discussion about this hot topic, but I think we understood that we have to cover this also, and with our and we felt the dynamics between women and men inside this ensemble. And I think, for example, for my character, we have a route with, different with Simos, different with our years, that I cross the line. I am I'm not the victim, I'm the perpetrator. I'll try to be in this position, but after I collapse, but they don't usually. So we pass through this area, but not with a basic way, with a more physical way, body way.
Yeah, but we analyze that the violence that comes towards you, when you start collapsing, then the aggressivity that you also express, it can go this way. That's why Kaya Dimitra mentioned the sequence with the best man at the sea. But on the other hand, I just want to note that for me, because it's all of them is a group of men and women who work there, and the exploitation goes for everybody, I also try, I mean, it was second level, and not so analyzed as for the girls, that the exploitation of the male also in this universe has some characteristics that we try a little bit to show also. Of course, we focus on the female characters, but I think in this situation it exists both. In different ways maybe, but both exist.
Can I also say? I would like also to say something, because for me that's also a very strong thing in this, of the whole experience of working with Sofia. And because I felt like beyond the story and the content of the film, that the way that Sofia worked, and she's a female director, that I didn't think that she fell in the trap of patriarchy, which would mean a woman taking over qualities of a man and wanting to function in the same way. I mean, this sounds maybe a bit simplistic, and many men would have more complex thoughts to share, but women as well. But to say it very simply, for me, I felt this was a great experience of working with a female director. Yeah, I could say more, but I won't. Just this.
We had a question here.
Hello, thank you for the very interesting movie. I have a question. Have you, this movie was on screen in Greece already? Not yet.
No. It's our world premiere today.
Okay.
That's why we barely speak. We just watched also the film for the first time with
I
everybody.
cannot ask the next question. So, maybe you can just imagine how would be the reaction of your people in your country. Are they aware of this problem, or is that something that you are pointing at and a lot of people say, oh my God.
No,
because for me,
I
have never been in Greece, unfortunately, but anyway, this kind of trip is not mine, but I would never do that if it is behind that, you know, and so I want to know how your people see that.
Well, we didn't have yet the chance to screen, but I shared the film in different stages of editing with friends, and I had reactions of friends who, you know, from the very beginning of the film told me that I already knew what's gonna happen, and my stomach was crumbling from the very beginning because I know so well what you're about to narrate to me, and it felt so harsh for me from the beginning. That's the one, and that's the people. I think the government will never give any interest to this film, you know, how, you know, it works. And I think they will not be very happy for not promoting tourism in the best way.
Is it going to change anything in this?
I think never movies can change anything. Can change the minds of the viewer, not even change the minds of the viewers, but you go inside the theater and maybe you watch a film and your mind a bit makes a small twist or a small window opens for something that you thought a little bit and now it goes somewhere further, or something that you never thought, or a new proposition. And you can keep that and maybe work on that or explore it. You can forget it after 10 minutes and go for a beer. I don't think movies have this power to have other beauties, but not this power to change the world.
But if I can add something, I mean, the film talks about the system. The system, of course, in this case is the tourism. But what the film talks about is we can see it in different sectors as well. It's not something that is characteristic of Greece only. What's interesting, though, in the film is that tourism is related to, as Sofia mentioned earlier, to nice moments and relaxation and all this. And sometimes we don't think that behind the scenes there's a lot of sweat and pain and all this. But I don't think this is really something about Greece, per se.
Yeah. And for me, it was also an allegory that I had an interesting thing that I think in many working systems like this, and most of the people who have to wear a costume in the morning, we have to deliver with energy, and we have to smile, and we have to play the game and the role we have to play in our working environment. Here, the funny thing is that it's quite literal. They have to wear a costume, they have to laugh like clowns, and they have to deliver with huge energy every day. But it's very important what Maria said, because for me it was from the beginning an allegory, and I was inspired with something that I knew and I knew I could talk about in more depth, but through these characters I would like to talk about this subject in general.
Do we have some more questions? Yes, over there in the back.
Congratulations on the working with actors, making a movie about so many characters. How did you make it work?
Crazy. It's crazy, but I like it. I have nobody to blame about it. It was a big process, a lot of months of audition to find them. As I said before, I want to be dancers, performers, actors, so I searched everywhere. And one by one, and then I was trying to imagine that they should look also in my head like a modern circus, like somebody has to be the funny, somebody should be the strong, the sexy. So then I was like trying to imagine the whole image together, bringing them in auditions 2 by 2, the 2 girls together, 3 other characters together, you know. So it took a lot of time to decide the group, first of all. And then months of rehearsal, we started with the improvisation in some important scenes with all the group, but also duets, like the couples and stuff. And then we stopped and we said, okay, now we'll do the choreographies, because I knew that they had to start getting related to the job they are doing, to what it means to be animators. So we spent almost another 2 months doing only choreographies and focusing on that. And then we went back to rehearsals. And the idea is that we elaborate the scene, we know the targets, we know what it is about, and we build through that the dialogue and who talks when and the actions and everything. I watch the videos and then we rehearse again and blah, blah, blah. And in the end, it's quite like an acting choreography. So it seems a bit like a documentary when you see it, but actually everybody knows what they are doing in each scene. And I think when we went to the shooting, we were feeling confident that we know what we're going to do and we're just going to shoot it now. We don't have so much time also to do it.
Yes, I wanted to add on that because, yes, we didn't have, due to budget restraints, of course, and because it was a very demanding film with a lot of, first of all, with a long script and with a lot of challenges, the shows, the group dynamics and all this.
I'm sorry, the tourists have to go.
And Sofia, and there was a lot of worries if we would make it on time and we would, and they would deliver. And it was amazing because we had a lot of troubles during the shooting. But the only problem we never had was the performance of the actors. They did such a great work with Sofia, and they were like one body in the end. So you couldn't feel that there are too many people, and then you have to handle. So for me, it's kudos to them, respect.
Oh yeah, there. Thank you.
Hi, I really like the movie, and I'm thankful for that because I had high expectations about it since I come from a very touristic place. I mean, I was born here, but I grew up in an even more touristic place. And I think it was brave to make a movie that critiques tourism in a way, even though, as someone else mentioned, it was more of a general depiction of capitalism, of how it exploits people. But my question was, do you think it might spark a conversation? I know it's a very similar question to the one someone else made, but do you think it might spark a conversation about the whole tourism industry and the damage it can bring to society in Greece? Because at least in my experience, and at least in Mexico and Spain, because I'm Mexican and I live in Spain, there's a lot of people who complain about tourism. And it's an uncomfortable situation because on the one hand, you get a lot of money from it. I mean, yeah, there's development that comes from it, but at the same time, the quality of life sort of decreases, and a lot of cities, and yeah, especially small places, small towns, small cities, sort of become just like entertainment places for tourists. So, do you think this film might be able to move people a bit in that way?
Actually, the last 2 years there have been a lot of articles in newspapers about the working condition of summer workers, but that was it. I didn't progress. I don't think, as I said before, I don't think a movie can change that. I think the whole economy is in a big crisis, and the profit is above all. So that's why they work like this. There's other ways to work, of course, but you can have more employees, better working conditions. They can live in better places. They can have better salaries. There is possibilities for a different way to be, but maybe it's not the way capitalism works. So maybe it will collapse if we go in that direction. So I don't know.
But maybe there's also this question about being a tourist, or I don't know if it's a question that involves, like, in its basic sense, some sort of stupidity that is connected to ignorance, because you go somewhere. So from both places, we accept that there is a certain ignorance and certain stupidity there involved.
Stupidity
I
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
say, but ignorance. But for me, it was not my intention also to, to say, the tourists are the bad guys or the...
Yeah.
Because, they also, there are people, there are a lot of places in Greece that they are really low, like for low class people, the tourists are really cheap, and everybody has, to escape and to go for vacation, and the ignorance is, I think, what makes the conflict a bit.
Yeah.
That the people know that they work, and maybe sometimes the people who come have expectation, and they don't know, how many hours the employee has worked, and maybe the ignorance is the problem.
So there's both ways is a certain exploitation. No? Yeah.
I have, we have a question there, and
Hello, thank you and congratulations for the movie. I want to ask you if there is something personal you brought into the movie and you showcased in maybe the personality of the characters or some scenes or some stories, if you want to share.
Well, I mean, apart from the subject, that I think that the entertainment has much close relationship with our work, what it means performance, and to construct something, to compose something. So that really was something that I could relate. I think many images and many ideas and characteristics of the female characters, but also the male or moments. I put a lot of my thoughts or of my experiences in that. I cannot focus on one character. I think it was all over. I tried to be really personal and to be really honest with this movie and to share my thoughts and my feelings.
I have one question that you show somehow 3 generations of female characters in the film. It's not only Kaya, but you have Eva, the teenager who's coming to work there for the first time, and then you show us several times this little girl, and I think there's quite a strong intention behind that. So could you talk a bit more about how you built this 3 generational?
So the first idea was that I knew that my main character should be a woman who has been working there for years. So she's at a very critical moment of her life regarding things that she doesn't want to acknowledge, but during the film she will have to confront with. And then came the idea of the younger one, and that for me that was interesting because it was kind of an opposite journey, meaning that a character, an immigrant girl who is 70 years old, she's working in this place for the first time. She will, through the film, discover this universe, and us as a viewers will discover things through her, although the other characters already knows everything. So I like this kind of opposite genres, that for Eva it was like a coming of age, and for Kaya is a story of realization. And then I thought about the little girl, and what really inspired me was that imagine like a kid that was born inside this and doesn't know any other world. Like, as I said before, with the circus, like when it was the moving circus and there was the kids of the... and so she's still innocent, but all her life is this universe. And then I had the idea that apart from constructing their own personal journeys, that what if the 2 younger ones can play out as possible flashbacks, backstories of Kaya. So instead of trying to narrate her backstory, what if these 2 girls can be like the possible backstories, and what if, when the movie finishes, maybe the viewer will think that he saw the story of one girl in 3 different moments of her life. So that was intentionally, but it was quite difficult because now it seems easy to say, but to try to make the journeys of each of them and then still keep in mind to do also this structure, it was quite challenging to do. But the girls, I also shared this with the girls as an idea, and they knew, this.
No, but I think you completely achieved this that I wanted. I think that the experience and the image of each one kind of reflects on the others, and we feel that it could be one character.
And it was always from script, and of course in the editing, but it was already from the script. how we change from the one point of view to the other. And when we finish one scene and then the next scene, the other girl takes the lead. So we still have the feelings from the previous scenes where the one character left us and where the new characters were going to take us from that moment to the next step. So they were kind of like a puzzle a bit, which was, in this idea.
Great. We have time maybe for one last question, if there is one from the audience. If not, let's wrap it here. Thank you very much. We do have one. Sorry, yes, we did see. Great.
You just mentioned changing from one scene to the next one, and I was already, when I watched the movie, I thought that I see a lot that you already knew before, and not only in the editing, how you would change from one scene to the next. So I was wondering how much has changed during the editing process and how much was in your actual script.
I mean, it changed stuff in the composition as it always does. In the editing, maybe inside one scene, how in the end I build it up through the editing, or some structure also issues that we change some stuff. But it's still, there was always this idea how we go from the one character to the other and how they narrate together for us the story. It stayed in the editing, and we were focused on that to keep this idea. So I think we did change stuff, and also then with the sound, we elaborate on stuff. But the core of the script is there, I think.
Great. So, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing the film. So, good luck with the journey of the film that is starting here, and please do recommend the film if you liked it. It's playing again these days in Locarno. And thank you once again for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Far fotografare.